Workforce Advisory, Dean Cameron. And today we're looking at a recent article regarding, is a RAT test enough in the world of COVID-19? So, in 2022, it may not be possible or practicable for an employee to be provided a medical certificate as evidence of absence on personal leave on the day. An employee may still be required to provide a statutory declaration or provide evidence that would satisfy a reasonable person at a later time to notify the absence on personal leave as soon as practicable, which may be a time after the leave has been taken. One option, obviously, is a medical certificate. Option 2 is a statutory declaration. In providing a statutory declaration, we'd wish to remind people that making a false declaration does have significant penalties involved, and that is why it's regarded as valid evidence for the purposes of the Fair Work Act. Option 3 is a certificate from other health practitioners. Now, this might be a dentist, or it might be an optometrist, or it might be an occupational therapist. So there are other occupational or other medical practitioners that can provide a certificate. Is a RAT COVID-19 test evidence that would satisfy a reasonable person? The provisions of an at-home RAT alone without online registration may be helpful at the time of notification, but an employer may still require supporting evidence of a medical certificate or a statutory declaration upon return to the workplace, or within a brief period of time after taking the leave. An at-home RAT test may be reasonable indication. However, it lacks the independent endorsement, health support management provided by a medical certificate or significant legal formality of a statutory declaration. If an employee does not provide satisfactory evidence as required by the Act within a reasonable period following the illness at the request of the employer, then entitlements to the leave may not exist. When an employer requests a medical certificate, employees can ask an employee to give evidence even if absent for one day. An employee who fails to give evidence to their employer when asked may not be entitled to be paid their sick leave. The Fair Work Act does not specify the type of evidence that needs to be given for sick leave, only that it would satisfy a reasonable person that the entitled to the leave. Generally, medical conditions, examples of forms of workplaces that most employers will accept. An at-home RAT test, being a self-administered test, does not carry the same consideration as a PCR test, medical certificate or statutory declaration. A RAT administered under the documented supervision of a health professional, for example, independently witnessed or by an employer directly or under the supervision of a nurse, would clearly be acceptable. What notice does an employee need to give? An employee has to let their employer know as soon as possible, and this may even be after the leave has commenced. If prior notice was not possible, when giving notice of taking sick leave, an employee should specify how long they anticipate they will need to be away from the workplace, which which rapid antigen test kits can be used. The TGA includes a list of all registered RAT antigen test kits. To acknowledge ongoing community frustrations in obtaining these tests and test requirements remain an important tool for a safe workplace. If you have any questions, please give us a call at Workforce Advisory. We're happy to help. Thank you.